Peace, chiefs, and deers. It's Bronzebird, formerly known as Brownbird, here with another YouTube video. Before I begin, like and subscribe. So, I was doing some pondering before Black History Month is basically up. I had some videos planned, but I guess I canceled it because I have some other stuff in store. More so on my YouTube journey, I'll give you guys some more history lessons and all these different things, and come next year I'll probably have some more history stuff that I can gather for YouTube so you can guys watch for quote-unquote Black History Month. Now my thing about it is this: I don't celebrate Black History Month for the fact of the matter, black is a color, and we have to understand that race in a lot of aspects is a social construct, with the idea of black, white, yellow, red, and all these different things to describe people. Now, that's not my point of making this video, but I just wanted to touch on the fact of the matter that this whole entire thing about Black History Month and what they're trying to do or what they're succeeding to do, and I make this awareness to a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters that don't understand that when it really comes down to what is being preached and what is being thought about with Black History Month, I've always said this, that what they want to make the so-called black community is only women and children. I recently just seen an ad on YouTube, or I guess a promo for Black History Month, that seems to be an animation of only so-called black women for Black History Month. Living in the city that I live in, usually when I see Black History Month, a large amount of the participants or who they choose to celebrate for being on the front lines or being public figures are so-called black women. And this is where a lot of brothers start to understand that we are not supported by this idea of the so-called black community. And it mainly upholds the idea of gynocracy and the idea of only the feminine being honored and not the masculine. And of course, with that, you have an understanding that the so-called black man is public enemy number one, and he is not to be honored or taken seriously. And now it's led to be about the Black History Month being about only so-called black women. So it's no takes two to tangle. It's all about the women, and it falls in line with liberalism. And, you know, recently seeing all these shirts and these campaigns to say the future is female. So the so-called black man is forgotten about. And I just make this video so that we can have a conversation for those who don't have an understanding, or people who deny or feel like what us the so-called black men is merely trying to preach is going to deaf ears really, and we are not able to discuss this in context of conversation. Not that I'm looking for anything to really happen, because they have this on stronghold. But as long as we spread the awareness, that's the most important thing that needs to be let out. And especially the fact of the matter that when it comes to this, and I hope that there's people listening with a mature ear only, that when it comes to the so-called black community or so-called Black History Month or what they try to preach, you have these people who want to share the secrets to so-called white people about the secrets of being a so-called black person, and share all these secrets about, you know, what makes the so-called black community so unique and all these different things. A lot of the brothers that I'm very disappointed in share their secrets or share their angst about being a so-called black person in order to attract the validation of so-called white people, which is lame as hell, as if you ask me. And this is just all out of opinion and just what I see. Maybe anecdotal, but I have no problem with that. And with that being said, a lot of the brothers want to, you know, get along with the so-called black white people and all these different things. And ironically, I just seen this morning, looking at a clip on TV about so-called black men talking about black this and black that, and, you know, they're actors when it comes to this popular play called The Lion King. With that being said, the so-called black community of what they're planning to be the neo so-called black community all falls under liberalism, using the so-called black woman to be the Trojan horse of confusion and destruction. And if it's the so-called black man who only plays a role as the one as a so-called black community or in so-called Black History Month, he is only following these two type of routes to be accepted by the so-called black woman and the society at large. The so-called black man that is a homosexual, that's number one, or is an affiliate to the quote-unquote LGBTQ community, or the so-called black man that follows around liberalism and is more like a simp to the so-called black woman. And you understand, like I understand, that liberal so-called black women only follow behind liberalism and any ideologies and theologies that come from the elite or socialism. This is what they want. So please remember to like and subscribe to my videos. If you agree or disagree, go ahead and give your thoughts in the comment section.
County, no cafe, but I gotta get back to the fork by tomorrow. I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go, yo. I get back to the fork by tomorrow. I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go, yo. Get back to the fork by tomorrow. I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go, yo. Gotta get back to the fork by tomorrow. I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go. Sweet brown ebony eyes, why you shed a tear for me? I gotta encourage people to see